Right, hello, welcome back. I've got a Hayter 56 in today, and I'm going to change the clutch on it, brake clutch. I changed this one last September, so it's not even done it, not done a year yet. It's not completely tore out. You normally get some right down to nothing, but it's getting to the point where it jams on, so when he goes to start it, it cuts the engine out and stuff like that. So it's just due for another one. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to fit a new clutch. I've got other things to do on it as well, as you can see. On this, I'll get it undone again now. I can't. I've caught my lever. It's due for service. So I don't know why the light's on the camera. Must think it's dark. I'll lose in here now. Yeah. Right. First thing you do is just undo the bolt in the middle. You can undo the two bolts here on the blade first, but I find it please just undo the bolt in the middle first. Break your clutch in half, and then later on take the blade, undo the blade and take it off. Last time I had to cut these in half, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have to do that this time or not. I might just clean them out. And then what else have we got there? Let's clean some more grass out of it. I've already cleaned that up the other day, but there's more thread in it. Right, I'm just going to take the bolt out of it now. This one that holds it still. Right, I'm hoping I can put it down, rather than pull the tension down on the springs. Get it off like this. That's an easy way to do it, and then pull the springs out. Quite easy, isn't it? I greased all these up last time with a bit of copper grease, so that's why it came off so nice and easy. Must admit, I didn't think I'd be doing it so soon. Don't want to do it with my hands. Is that on the camera, Luke? Because I can't see, mate. This is how it works. It just pulls it in and it pulls this out, what pushes on a clutch plate. Last time it was just completely smashed to bits. This time it's just worn down this bit more than it has the outside. So the outside's braking. So when he pushes it on the first time in the morning, it's cold. The brake's still on, so instead of it spinning the blade, it stops the engine. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. You can rub it down and get it smooth and try. I mean, I've rubbed this one down a bit before and tried it, but when you need a machine every day of the week and you're doing sort of 50 hours a week with a machine, you can't afford to go to somebody's garden and try it 2 or 3 times. It keeps stalling, it looks bad, so it's easier, cheap. Well, it's easier to fit a clutch, it's cheaper. But right, next stage. Lou's getting the cut. Don't worry about it, mate. Leave it, mate. It's alright. Just pass it to us. Put it on here, mate. Right, this is the new clutch. Lou's just put down on there. You can see the difference now. You can see these don't ever seem to get a lot of wear in them, but you can see where the clutch has been, the brake's been rubbing. How it works is this is for the brake, and then this is for your clutch. So this is spinning all the time the engine's running, and then what happens is This pushes down on the clutch plate, pushes the clutch plate away from the brake, which is the edge. And what's happening at the moment, where it's worn, the clutch is worn on the inside, like here. This pushes down, but it doesn't give enough clearance for this, for the brake. So because the brake's catching on here still, so it's just like braking the engine, putting a brake on the engine. So that's what's happening. Quite a simple design. There's a bolt that goes through, it holds it to stop the whole thing spinning, and I think that's basically it really. This is the new clutch plate compared to the old one. Doesn't take a lot of wear to mess them up. The one before this, there was no clutch plate on it at all. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's a matter of just putting it back together now. Oh no, it ain't. I'll tell you what we've got to do. Getting well ahead of myself. What you've got to do is to take this bolt and this bolt off, because what happens is they get worn from the grass, and on the last ones I had to cut these off and do them. I'm hoping not to do it this time, because I've ordered the bolts for it and they take 2 weeks to get here, so I'm hoping this will undo. I can clean them out and undo them. That's the next job. Got Louis filming now. When I do the blade bolts, hopefully clean them out, so I'm hoping. No, see if I can clean them out a bit more. Right, give it another go. No, still no good. Right, let's think of something else. Right, as I thought they would do, they've rung out. So what I'm going to do is wait till my new bolts come, and then I'm going to cut these off. I'll get desperate in the meantime, I'll have to budge stuff out to do it. They're awkward, you can't even get like mould grips on them because of the shape of them, they just pop up. You can grind the sides down, get mould grips on it, or a spanner on it, or weld a bit on it, bar on it, and turn them if you're really desperate to get them off. I'm thinking at the moment I might put a new blade on this, so therefore I don't even need to take them off of there. But I might show you me taking them off. I might, like I said, I'll probably end up cutting them off, because you're going to need this, this problem yourself if you're going to use the same blade. So I'll look at that when my new one come. Like I said, I ordered them the same time as that. I ordered them Friday. That's Monday now, so they've come Monday, so over the weekend it's come. But the bolts can take 2 or 3 weeks. I'm finding this with all my hater parts at the moment. Seems to take any major part, you can got a clutch or something like that, your carb, you can get like the next day. But things like bolts, roll pins, what you use for the drive and stuff like that, you can wait 2 or 3 weeks, and then I don't think there's no guarantee you're going to get them. I'm not quite sure why that is. I mean, I'm thinking it's companies like Hater who are trying to get you to buy a new machine, because obviously if you're waiting for your machine's sitting here for 3 weeks, you're not going to be too chuffed because your grass is going to be growing and stuff. And I'm starting to think that I know they're getting worse, so it's not them. Bridge and Stratton's the same. Some of the little bits you try to order, it's just weeks of waiting now. But it is because how they supply the other companies, what supply me, so it's pissing about trying to find stuff in stock. If you can't find it in stock, you can wait weeks now. I mean, I've been told Bridge and Stratton are only taking orders now on a Friday. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but all the companies I use seem to work that way, and if you can work it out, that if it ain't on the shelf, it'll be in the following weekend, the weekend after that, after the first weekend you order it. So it pees me off a bit. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about that, because I want to leave this and go on to something else. And what I'll do is come back and I'll film this. I was going to make this 2 parts, but I don't think it's worth it thinking about it. So we'll just carry on when we get the new bits, 2 new bolts, and I think I might put a new blade on. and we'll carry on, and I will show you how to take this off. I'm going to take this off just in case you need to, but I will probably just grind them off, and so otherwise you'll need the new bolts, and I'll give you the numbers for them as well. I haven't got them on me now. Right, see you in a bit. Right, it's about a week after the last bit of film you see, and my bolts have turned up. I've just put them in there loosely so you can see, and you might better see the shape and what I was on about. You can't just undo them, get anything around, because you've got your blade here, and once you wring the centre out, you're sort of quite knackered. It's not worth trying them out. I did try an easy out, but it didn't work, so it ain't worth the aggro. So I just cut the heads off. I didn't film it because I didn't think you'd actually see a lot with me in front of it with a grinder, and all you see is sparks and whatever. But there's the bolts I cut off. Sometimes you can get halfway through because you get a bit of heat in them. You can pull them about and undo them, but this one I had to cut the tops right off, and yeah, I had to cut the tops right off and whack them out. So all I've done so far is done that, cut that blade off. I've put a very light copper grease on the shaft just to help me. The next sight seemed to work. Don't want too much on it because obviously that's spinning around and that will go off on the clutch. So yeah. Right, I think the next thing to do is I'm gonna put the blade on last. Last time what I did is I put the blade all on and put it up and in one bit. Because I've got to sharpen the blade, I'm going to get the clutch on, and then I'll put the blade back on. Right, I'm going to just try this on here. There we go. I've got that lined up. So what we need to do is, if we can, I'd like to put the springs on it. Not sure if to hook this spring up first or just got to find the. There we go. Right, what I'll do is I'll hook this spring up first, and we'll try it from there. This is easier on its side, I must admit. Just got to line it up, so I need to move you again because hang on a sec. Oh, I just need to get in there. There you go, and that's just pushed up. You can come back over here. Right, so that's easy enough. You can tell that's on the shaft because that's locked. And this bolt, just turn this round, it's up here. There you go. I'll just need to tighten it up. Oh, move the gun off. Right, 2 seconds and I'll tighten it up. Right, so I found it. Just don't zoom very out on it, but there you go. They will really checking when it's pulled the bottom half of the clutch up. Like I say, normally what I do is put the bolt in. I don't know what you can see, hang on, let's move you a bit. Moving about a bit this time, aren't we? Nearly moved down, I kicked you. Nearly fell over. Right, this bolt goes through, so it holds the clutch on. and the blade sits above it. So you can put the blade on first and then tighten up. The only thing is with that, you've got the weight of the blade, and you also have this plate on top of the blade as well. What needs cleaning up, so I'll do that in a minute. But I think what I'm going to do for this, for this one, is bolt the clutch up here, and then put the blade on afterwards. What happens when I put a bolt in it to pull the clutch up, then I'll retighten this, and that's basically it then of shitting the blade. Alright, let's sort myself out and then I'll be ready to put it up there. And if that old now, actually, we can just do it now, I think. I'll just screw it up there. There you go. Centres itself. You can see what you can't. It centres itself on there. Obviously it's not tight, so at the moment it turns quite easily. Where did I put the other bit? That one. These are two different sizes as well. That one's H6 and this is an H8. Okie dokie. You can feel that's got hold of that. It's got hold of that as well. Right, I'm just going to sharpen this blade up a bit and then we'll put the blade on. I don't think you need to see me sharpening the blade, so like I've tried it before, but you just can't see. When I'm sharpening, all you see is the sparks. And I don't want to get the camera too near to it because it covers it in crap. But, yeah, that's all good. Then we'll just check the lever and yeah, so I'm going to sharpen the blade. Right, I'm going to chuck the blade on now. I'll give it a quick sharpen, but it ain't very good. The blade really wanted replacing. But obviously that's just a matter of the plate on the top. Just a matter of putting the bolts in. So just have to line it up and plate it up. It sits on there like that, I don't know if you can see. I'm not going to tighten it right up with this, I'm just going to wind it in, then we'll tighten it up. We'll bar it up, so I know that I don't want to over tighten it. Struggles to get me in because the amount of like Loctite or whatever it is they put on the bolts, it struggles to get past that. You see, once it gets past it, it whips up again. That's it. Right, that's the job done. That's all there is to it. I think there's anything else I've got done there really, apart from I'll just tighten this up with a ratchet rather than a gun. I can't start it up and show you the clutch working because, well, you can see why. I was waiting for the bolts, I started to decoke, so yeah, so I'm going to do the service on it and then I'll do a start up of it, hopefully before it leaves. Right, thanks for watching, all the usual stuff. Yeah, so right, see you next time.